Permaculture, as you know, doesn't tell us what to do. It teaches us how to think. I don't want to make the same mistake as a lot of PDCs out there and fill you with tons of theory with no practice. We're not going to do that. You're going to get a lot of information in this course and a lot to interact with. That being said, I do want to use today to lay out a little bit of a framework for how we're bridging the ecological design that most people see permaculture to be with these other practical applications like lifestyle and business. Permaculture is a design system, and it teaches us to consider all of our decisions holistically. We do this by considering the many things that influence our decisions alongside those things our choices influence. From there, we apply a variety of principles to create solutions that are synergistic and regenerative. And because really permaculture is about methods of thinking rather than the techniques that result from them, we can apply permaculture to land management in any climate zone. And in the same way, it isn't just for land management. It can also be applied in the ways that we're going to look into here as well. We can benefit by applying this wisdom to many aspects of our lives and even society. And that's what Bill Mollison was really encouraging us to do at the end of his book, was to look at society. How can we apply this thinking broader than our own little bubble? After completing this course, you will be equipped with the tools and experience to do that systematically. So ethics are the core. If it doesn't benefit the people, the planet, future generations, and it probably isn't permaculture. The principles are the guiding light. They shed wisdom, inducing perspectives on any situation, really. Like, how many times have you guys just been doing something and you're like, oh, I could stack functions if I did it this way too, right? Like we just develop this into our thought pattern. And they help us ask ourselves questions that reveal new opportunities. The strategies and techniques, the doing, those change. They adapt to the design's goals while considering all the other elements in the environment. The methodology is the framework that ties all of it together and makes it universally applicable. So let's look at that framework for a minute. I've studied permaculture design methodology through many aspects. Obviously, I took my own PDC. We taught PDCs at my farm. I've talked with many permaculture designers and gone over this process and refined it, given their feedback. And I broke it down into four basic stages. First is the assessment. We observe and interact. We look at the entire landscape, including fixed and seasonal environmental influences. When applying permaculture to our business or lifestyle, we ask ourselves questions that uncover not only our goals, but also why they're important to us. We look at the needs of our surrounding ecology and human environments. We know limiting factors as eagerly as opportunities. Where do gaps exist where energy is leaking from our systems? Research is always required. I don't care how experienced you are, every application has a new context. So once we identify the knowables, we do research to discover perspectives beyond our own. This helps to test our assumptions and minimize wasted energy. The research phase is also where we build relationships and we uncover previously unrealized opportunities. It's truly magic and a phase that I'd say most business owners almost entirely skip. Besides the most superficial research, most people don't go as deep as I'm going to take you through this course. Next, we analyze. We contemplate the edges where different aspects of our goals and environment meet to find synergistic relationships and opportunities. We identify obstacles to optimal function, and we attend to them, keeping efficiency and efficacy in mind. We do this strategically, building solutions that support other functions as well. And then we get to the design. We focus on plugging energy leaks, stacking functions, and optimizing multiple forms of capital. We design an implementation schedule, usually phased out in monthly or quarterly goals. And it's important to keep in mind those goals and limitations we identified to minimize overwhelm and challenge. And the feedback loop is perpetual. This design process never really ends. Through the design process, the permaculture principles are applied again and again and again to discern what's working, what's not, how to improve the system's efficiency and productivity. And while that is common in ordinary business practice, when we do a permaculture business design, we aim for multiple forms of yield beyond just financial capital. And that's one of the things that really steps this aside as being different. For that matter, the ideal is to ensure that a majority of the money passing through the business is contributing to regenerative practices at every step, nourishing these nurturing capitals like living capital, social capital, cultural capital, and spiritual capital. If you can arrange a business whose activities and expenditures systematically contribute to these aspects of our collective wealth, you're moving in the right direction. And these are your indicators. Before I go on, I want to address a fourth ethic beyond the popular earth, care, people care, and fair share. And that ethic is transition care. I don't know who exactly coined this phrase. I was trying to look it up, and there's a few different people that were noted with it. But we're working to evolve a new way of living and being while still embedded in an existing reality that's very much out of alignment with our vision. This fourth ethic is especially applicable as we navigate within the realms of business, lifestyle, finance, and economics. Our common response to seeing the ills of the world can sometimes be rage, rage against the system. Or want to sometimes denounce everything that we associate with it. And in my 28 years of raging against the system, I'd say about 25 years that I really woke up to how things are laid out in the world ecosystem. This approach brings wonderful people together at events like rainbow gatherings and Burning Man, and maintaining an attitude of againstness and antiism happens to be less conducive to operating a successful business. And I see that a lot in myself as well as people I work with. To survive in today's business environment, even as a regenerative entrepreneur, we need to ask ourselves, how can we use the present system, tools, technologies, and even customs to guide people toward a more harmonious and regenerative reality? This is crucial.